I know you're all asking yourselves the same question. Why so blue?
Why so blue is one of my favorite lines from Avatar: The Way of Water. Quaritch has many great one-liners, and this one's perfect with a comedic double meaning. It's both why so sad, but also why are you actually blue? And honestly, it made me wonder, why are the Na'vi blue? The answer is much deeper than you think, and it goes all the way back to the 80s when James Cameron saw Avatar in a dream. The simplest answer is that Na'vi are aliens, so of course they would look different from humans. However, James Cameron actually explained why he chose this specific color. In fact, the Na'vi share many traits with humans: body structure, number of limbs, facial symmetry, and essentially function as humanoid aliens. So that raises a question, why blue instead of green or purple? As many of you probably noticed, even the name Na'vi sounds a lot like navy, a shade of blue. It almost feels intentional, as if the species name suddenly mirrors their skin color. Na'vi is also similar to the word native, which perfectly embodies the symbolism of Pandora's indigenous population. And that fits Cameron's writing style, as many names in the movie are playful and straight-up caricatures. The RDA administrator obsessed with profit is named Selfridge, sounding a lot like selfish. And the precious mineral humanity mines on Pandora is called unobtainium, literally something that is unobtainable. So first of all, blue skin color works as a psychological hack. I actually think the Na'vi being blue is one of the biggest reasons Avatar is so popular in our culture. In fact, blue is extremely rare in nature, and you almost never see truly pigmented blue animals or plants. So when a creature is blue, your human attention span is instantly drawn to it. The human brain biologically is wired to notice rare colors, and blue is one of the rarest ones in nature. And actually, the reason blue is so uncommon has to do with physics and biology. To appear blue, an object must absorb most of the other wavelengths in the visible spectrum, especially red and orange, while reflecting blue. Producing a surface or a compound that can do this requires a complex molecular structure that is very difficult to create biologically. Therefore, blue stands out in nature, and humans are psychologically wired to find it appealing, which is probably the reason the world's most popular favorite color is blue. But surprisingly, none of this is why James Cameron made the Na'vi blue. So let's review Cameron's direct explanation. Here is what he said in one interview. As for the color, green was taken. There was a long history of green aliens, plus the Hulk, and the human colors, pinks and browns, weren't alien. SpongeBob was yellow. That pretty much left blue and purple. Purple is my favorite color, but I figured I would use that for one of the main bioluminescence colors, which we did, associating it with Awa and anything sacred for the Na'vi. So initially there was no grand biological explanation at first, and it was mostly an artistic choice. However, Cameron went deeper in another interview. At a certain point, we realized that Avatar is going to be a love story, so Zoe's character had to be beautiful and accessible and relatable emotionally. He mentioned that blue allowed the film to comment on race. He said, "What are the differences that we can deal with without it becoming a barrier?" Skin color is great, and it's also great thematically because skin color is obviously such a big issue on our planet. Cameron said that they considered many human skin tones first. All the warm tones from pallid Canadian pink to beautiful warm browns and, well, pallid Australian pink were all taken into consideration. But in the end we were down to blue and green basically, and green had been taken by all those Martian movies with the little green men. So we have big blue women, not little green men. However, most strikingly, Cameron also said that he was highly influenced by Hinduism, from which the actual concept of Avatar originates. So another fascinating layer behind Cameron's choice is his long-standing interest in Hindu mythology. Many Hindu deities like Krishna, Vishnu, and Shiva are traditionally depicted with blue skin, symbolizing divinity, cosmic depth, and the boundless nature of the spirit. Hinduism also introduces the very word avatar, which means deity's incarnation, or a god taking physical form on earth. So Cameron mentioned that he was inspired by these ideas. In Hinduism, the physical body is simply an instrument or a vessel that the soul inhabits and uses to experience and interact with the world. An idea that perfectly parallels humans controlling their avatar Na'vi bodies through neural tech. The blue Na'vi in this sense echo the ancient imagery of blue divine beings and spiritual embodiment. The blue Na'vi appeals to a mythic archetype that resonates on a subconscious level with audiences around the world. Although Cameron's artistic reasoning is primary, there is also a compelling in-universe way to think about Na'vi skin color. Pandora's atmosphere has a distinct chemical profile, containing about 20% oxygen but elevated carbon dioxide levels, along with significant xenon and trace hydrogen sulfide, all of which scatter light differently than Earth's air. Much like how Earth's sky appears blue due to Rayleigh scattering, Pandora's denser and gas-rich atmosphere changes how light behaves. Its bioluminescent environment may favor organisms with pigmentation that enhances visibility, camouflage, or even UV protection. Blue skin could help the Na'vi blend into the moon's twilight forests. It may also allow them to communicate through subtle bioluminescent clues. Their skin might even regulate heat and radiation more efficiently than human skin. While not explicitly confirmed, this remains a plausible biological explanation, and it fits pretty well with Pandora's uniquely vibrant and optically complex ecosystem. In another interview, Cameron proudly emphasized that he built the world of Avatar entirely from one sketch. He explained that it took him more than 15 years to develop Pandora and the Na'vi. However, it all started with just a dream he had in college about a glowing, luminescent forest. He woke up, sketched it using pastel pencils, and that became the seed for the entire franchise. And even in the earliest sketches like this one, Cameron already envisioned Na'vi as blue. By 1995, he had written the early Avatar script, which eventually evolved into the 2009 film we know today. So in the end, the Na'vi are blue because of a mix of artistic choice, cultural inspiration, visual psychology, and thematic storytelling, all inspired by a magical and beautiful dream, almost like from a parallel universe that slipped into Cameron's psyche. And honestly, it's hard to imagine Na'vi in any other color, so blue is just perfect here. Thank you guys for watching, but let me know what you think in the comments. Check out this video where I explain why humans may actually be the good guys in Avatar, and let me know your thoughts about this perspective. Also, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as more content is coming soon.